All right, you are live. Okay, so for those watching me on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram, if you want to see both of us live together, you need to come on over to TikTok to see the full video of both people talking. But if you want to stay over here and just listen to the conversation like a podcast, you can do that too. All right. Good morning. Good morning. How are you? All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Biz Chat Daily, where we take trending business topics, trending topics, and we put a business spin on it. How can the business take this, whatever is happening with them, PR nightmare, right? And spin it to improve their business or make things more beneficial for their brand. And what we talking about today has to do a lot with how does the brand take what's happening, the negatives, and put it together to make sure that they're making money and the negative press that they're having does not negatively affect their bottom line, because we all know that good publicity and bad publicity is just publicity, right? All right. So you want to start it off?
Yeah, what are we talking about? Good morning. Where do you want to kick it off? We got so much to talk about.
I know. Can we piggyback on one of the topics we did yesterday and start off with that one?
No, I was actually going to talk about the Pop-Tarts, because I feel like we talked about those Pop-Tarts so much that I feel like all I saw yesterday was Pop-Tarts.
Listen, we talked about it so much, right, that I had never heard about the brand until the controversy happened. So that's why I said good publicity, bad publicity, still publicity, right? So I had never heard about it until the negativity started happening. So guess what I did yesterday? I Googled Target stores that had ghetto gastro, right? Pop Tarts in it. So I'm going to be driving out to Orlando after we get off here to buy some ghetto gastro so I can try it for myself. And I'm not even a Pop Tart lover. I just want to see, I want to support the brand because of the negative publicity that they're getting. And I want to taste the Pop Tart. Maybe I might fall in love with Pop Tarts all over again because it's vegan and it's supposed to be a healthier version. I know the regular Pop Tarts were just too sweet for me. So I'm going to go try it and I will let people know how I like it. Like I said, publicity is publicity. Whether it's good publicity or bad publicity, it brought it to the forefront for me. I learned about a brand I did not even know existed. So, yeah.
Let me just say this from somebody who overall, because again, every time somebody says they work in branding or something that way, you still have like a house to sit in.
Mhm.
And I'm more closer to that like PR house. Again, I think it's working for them. Again, I went to their website. I think their website layout is right to it. I think it's really, really cute. I love their about story. I think their about is like super, super dope. And I think all the verbiage goes together. Food. So food for freedom. Fuel for thought. That was a lot of
I know, right? That's a tongue twister.
Food for freedom. Fuel for thought. So I really, really love that. I love that they're Bronx born. I love that they actually are culinary artists.
Yeah.
And I love how they're tying it together. So this
and
very
it's
black,
vegan.
yeah, and culinary and the vegan part. And I love when you first go to their website, the Pop Tarts pop right up. It goes there. I love how in their tab it says available at Target. And even if you Google it, Target and stuff comes right up.
Right.
So their SEO, their website, their presence is absolutely there. And I think any type of publicity, I think whoever is in charge of their brand or their PR, they're at the top.
Right.
Like take this time and re-grab that story.
Yes.
And sit there and lead it out. with that narrative and with that story. So if you think it's ghetto, let me tell you why 3 Black people who are culinary artists who created this. Because as Black people, we probably can always afford Pop-Tarts. I feel like I went through that essence growing up. I remember getting up first thing in the morning, elementary schools and middle school, and the blue Pop-Tarts, I had to have them. And my next door neighbor, Willie, would come over and darn near bully me for my other Pop-Tart. But that was like what you had in the morning. You know what I mean? And I remember when we couldn't afford it, you tried to make a Pop-Tart or you tried to do something. So I love that whole, engineering of it, or how they're saying something is ghetto and they're flipping it to something good. So I think that is genius. And from there, even from the TikTok piece, we talked about TikTok Shop yesterday, and I felt like that's all I saw was the pastries and TikTok Shop Live, because everybody was on TikTok Shop Live. And I think people are losing I think people are losing the plot.
Yes.
This is December. People are still spending money. We live in America, only not even just that. We live in a world that people are spending consistently and constantly, and I don't think people are quite getting that. Even when it comes to their brand, it's always money out here. But I'm excited to see you try it and let me know how it is.
Yeah.
Because if something's nasty, you'll be like, oh God.
Yeah, but I wouldn't do that to them though. I wouldn't.
Why? Because you were the first person with me you were so against crumble cookie. You were like, London, it's not gonna work. It is not gonna work. I don't know how it's gonna pass. And I want to say a couple years after that, 2024, people cannot do crumble cookie. People are finally being honest about it and saying that it's just not working. So, what's your take on the whole TikTok Shop and how you're seeing it? Just move stuff over and everybody's jumping on that wave, and you're seeing beauty brands, fashion brands, and everybody jumping on it.
Oh, like I said yesterday, I think it's phenomenal for those people who need to make some extra cash. I mean, and even for people who don't need to make extra cash, because you always need money. That's what this world is about, money, right? So I think it's a really good area for people to make extra money. And if you're good at sales, you're gonna kill it on TikTok Shop, okay? And I like being able to see and I'm being introduced to Black-owned brands that I generally would not have known about. So like the other brand that I'm going to be buying from is Vicky's Cakes. That's a Black-owned brand too, and they have pancakes. And you also told me that Ghetto Gastro has pancake mix too, right? Did you tell me that? Yeah.
Just then I saw they had the pancake mix, and I guess they had they were talking about syrup and different stuff.
Right.
You just said how sweet.
And Vicky's also has syrup as well, and they're a Black-owned brand. And there are a few people on here that I started following that has a master list of Black-owned brands, and I think that's pretty cool. That if you're looking for something, you can go to their list and find what it is that you're looking for in any category. I think that's amazing. And I know a lot of people have an issue. Like, I don't identify myself as a Black-owned brand. I'm just a business, period. Right. But I do understand the distinction of saying I am a Black-owned brand. And I know that I know certain words get flagged. I hate talking on social media because of that sometimes, because it is just what it is. But I guess you got to do this kind of stuff. They are offended by the fact that Black people tend to identify themselves as Black-owned brands. And I kind of understand why, and I don't understand why. I know that they do it because our money stays in our community, what, 6 hours? 6 hours? Like, that's
6 hours
crazy.
To other communities,
right. Days. Like, so I understand that people were trying to bring some type of solidarity together and have people shop with other people and keep them money.
Like, it either can get me excited or it can knock the wind
out. Right. Yeah, exactly. That's ridiculous. And that's because we're not
6 hours.
They were not shopping within our community. And I think they said by 2030, I could be mistaken, but I think it's 2030, the median Black household income is going to be 0, nil. Yes. Now, this is not okay. This is not a sign for okay. This is 0. We're focusing here, right? 0. Okay, 0. What the heck?
So you said that I feel like everything in me in branding is going. here's where I feel like when it comes to Black America, where we are completely missing the mark. This is how we're missing the mark. Like, I'm just sitting here talking to you, like the amount of businesses we can have, like that just supports that is just insane. From websites to networks to shopping channels. Like, I can even see Black-owned businesses eventually forming something and having a flag or some type of implement.
Girl, they tried that before. They tried that before. Every time they do it, find a way to get rid of it.
And I'm like, yo, I just think how we're doing stuff, we have to be so more strategic. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, you know how you have flat earthers?
Yeah.
Where you have the round people and flat earthers fighting over the same thing. Like, can we get off it, period? Let's get to the bottom line.
But we have to try still, because if we don't,
that's how it feels. I feel like it feels so frustrating, but it's that middle, like you said, line for me of hope. Is like, we have to keep trying. We have to keep doing something. And again, I just feel like, especially with all this AI and technology, that's just my hope. Is that when we have stuff that is marketed to us, that we actually can sustain it.
And again, I'm always going to go back to what I say all the time. We have to stop holding us to an unrealistic standard.
Yes.
That is the problem. Holding other Black people to an unrealistic standard of excellence. The same problems that you have with a Black... Go ahead.
But I think the people we should hold it to, we actually don't.
Exactly.
That's the part that is. I'm like, if it's a local small business or someone selling chips or something, you can see that that's what they have, and they might not have the resources. But when we get into celebrities with millions of dollars with the platform, yes, I'm going to hold you sky.
Right.
You have the money, the team, the resources, the connections, and the power to actually do something different versus complaining like everybody else.
Right.
So that's why I guess I'm overall saying my hope is we get, whether it's a flag or implement to signify that it's Black owned on a product and we don't have to say Black owned, or an app or a shopping channel or something along that line. And I'm hoping that we actually get to that point. And I think you were talking about it before, like even right now, segueing into that next conversation, you were telling me before how it's a whole battle right now with Black owned brands and we're fighting over the Kardashian brand. And again, same thing here. I was like, why are we still fighting over the Kardashians?
I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
What was the whole thing that happened?
So I'm just getting bits and pieces of it because I haven't really been on social media too much between yesterday and this morning. But from what I gather, Skims dropped their new line, right? And it's a cheetah print in conjunction with Dolce & Gabbana? Yeah. Okay. Or is it Gucci?
No, it's Dolce & Gabbana.
Okay, Dolce & Gabbana.
Courtney. Okay. Again, let me just start off. I was surprised. Just go ahead, Tracy, because I have a whole PR take on that and how genius they are, and we're missing it. But go ahead. Okay,
so she dropped a new Skims line with Dolce & Gabbana, and it's cheetah print. Yeah. And so it's all like, you know what Skims is, a lot of body suits and blah, blah, blah. So the girls are wearing it, right? So they bought it up. They're wearing it and they're shaking their butts in it, right? And they're going to the club in it and they're Blackifying it. I don't know if that's what you want to call it, but other Black people are upset about the Blackification of the brand. Yes.
And that's what you got me right there.
Exactly, because I'm like, I bought it, I'm wearing it, and I'm gonna wear it how the hell I want to wear it. Like, what?
Yeah. To wear it. And let's be clear, even in their whole ad, they're outside, they're walking around. Where are you supposed to go with this? Like, where do you think you're supposed to go?
I don't know, because you're not going to the office in cheetah print.
Like, are you under you to skip? Like, you're wearing it out, so I totally get it. I guess here's the PR situation for me that's completely hilarious. So, Kim and Courtney on their show were arguing about the Dolce & Gabbana collection.
Right.
And like, who had the deal first? Who was copying this person's first? And now for Kim to come out with a Skims collection and put Courtney in the ad with her to drop it. Again, genius. This is genius, and this is what I'm saying to Black people.
Because they have to. They have, even if they don't like each other, or they don't like each other at certain points in time, they're about the money, and they're going to come together as a unified front to make the money. And I wish people would understand that. Okay.
That's what I do. I'll segue to this point. That's what I do. And I meant to ask you about it to see if you're seeing it too. That's what I do see, that the new trend going forward, especially into 2025, about legacy, your family, using your family name. We've seen Jackie Aina recently do it when she talked about her sister meeting Ariana Grande. And she's like, hey, remember who you are. Remember your family's last name. And I was like, well, it's just, her sister last name, but I see where you're going with it. You're seeing LeBron James and his son do it. Deion Sanders and his. I think
I'm 100%. You don't have to sell me on legacy. You may have to sell the audience, but I'm all about legacy building.
I
get you.
To the Black community and business, we have to look at us as a business, as a family business. And I think so much in the Black community, we have been told it's our family business, and family and business doesn't mix. But we haven't realized that the Kardashians for 20 years have been fighting and cussing each other out and selling and making a whole family business, while we have criticized them, crucified them, and the whole nine.
Exactly.
And that was my whole funny part about the Dolce and Gabbana situation. Like, they're fighting about the whole collection while dropping a break, dropping something together and reselling it to the audience. And this is why I'm saying publicity and your storytelling and all of this and the narratives matter. And I think that's, as Black people, I can so see us doing that. And I think we're seeing that too in this political climate, because there was a Project 2025 out that was supposed to be for Republicans, right? Then you saw this whole Black rise of this Project 2025 and community. So overall, not just for Black people, I think white, Black, whatever community you are in, if it's like Dave Chappelle said, if it's the ABC community, because ABC plus minus, whatever community you're in, even down to church, I think that is going to be a huge factor in how brands are driving their reach.
And it's kind of what we talked about, I think, yesterday. We've talked about it.
It was like, it's community.
Yeah, community
is going to be your focus.
Yeah.
And it's not the same community people are saying anymore. You can't just say the word community without defining what that looks like for you and your brand, and how you're going to embody that culture and then live it through. Because
and for those people, and for those people that would say, oh, I can't build up a brand with my family, I can't start a business with my family or my friends, it's about setting clear boundaries. I think what messes up a lot of people, and I'm not saying that it's going to be perfect either which way, right? Because life is not perfect. I think we need to get over some of the kinks, right, that happen in business or family, and stop using those as an absolute stop for not doing something, right? Exactly, as an absolute, deadline for not doing something. What I think needs to happen, instead of just haphazardly falling into business with somebody, it needs to be legalized. Not because they're your family doesn't mean that you don't sign a legal sheet of paper. Okay? It's just like when people say, oh, I want to marry you, but you have to sign this prenuptial agreement. People get offended. Oh, well, if you love me, I wouldn't have to sign it. No, because people change. Things happen. Right? I need to protect me.
Come on.
I need to protect me, and I need to protect you. So we are going to sign this piece of paper, and then we're going to move forward, knowing that we're both secure in this relationship. And business is a relationship, and you need to feel secure in the relationship. What happens if X, Y, and Z happens? How does it go to the next person? Who succeeds in the business if I pass? All of these things need to be, I think that's what happened, because no legal documents are being signed with a lot of these people who are getting into business, family members who are getting into business. Things tend to fall apart. And then you're like, that's why we don't do business with family. No, that's why we need legal help. Okay. We need to make sure that all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted and all of those things happen. If we go into business as a business and not as family. Take the love out of it. This is a business deal, right? Businesses will last because even if that person acts a fool, there is a clause in that contract of how to get rid of that fool.
And everybody has clear lines of
Exactly.
what they're good at and what they do. And not to just swinging it back to that gastro, the ghetto gastro. It's 3 of them. And I'm pretty sure.
Oh, they got a legal contract.
Not even that. I guarantee you, if they have tarts, if they have pancake mix, if they have syrup, I guarantee you, this is just me speculating. Let me be clear. This is just me assuming and speculation that one person is probably very focused on the tarts. One person is probably very focused on the mix. One person is very focused on the syrup. So when they come together, if something touches over, they can all still work together because they're still overly responsible for stuff.
And not even just that. I think maybe one person's probably good at marketing or production, right? And so that person manages the plant. This other person does the marketing. This other person probably does negotiate, whatever it is. I'm sure those are some of the roles in there as well. Now, do they have to hire people for those things too? Yes, but that person may oversee that department as well. All of these are things that need to be outlined in your agreement.
Agreed. And I think that's what we're getting down to. And even when Kay was up here, I think last week, and we were all talking and stuff that way together. I think that's exactly what we're getting down to is really appreciating people for what they bring to the table. And we're getting past thinking someone's supposed to see it like us. And no, that person has their own unique viewpoint of whatever it is that they're doing and their expertise in bringing that to the table. Right. And I think that's really where we're heading when we talk about the income level, especially in our community being zero. I think that's the awakening we're having. Hey, we can't all work together once we all solidify our own positions and what we're going to do and how we're going to play for this overall. Because I don't care what anybody says, the Kardashians have only succeeded because they knew Kim had the energy to bring the attention. They knew the mom was behind the scenes negotiating contracts. They knew Khloe was going to be caring about this. They knew that Courtney was very concerned into the logistics of the business and the healthiness of it. Everybody played their role. And what we saw personally that was entertaining was the personal of how they screamed back and forth. We never saw them in a boardroom. We never saw them actually doing business.
We saw little pieces of it, but not the real nitty gritty of it.
And I'm using that to flip it on the brand or the vice versa.
Right.
We see the pretty stuff on the brand and we don't see the boardroom and we don't see how that's going.
Absolutely.
And I'm just saying that to say we have to keep that in mind. And I do believe, that's my heart's belief, that we're now starting to see, hey, I can appreciate this person for doing that and pulling that person in to say, hey, this is what I want to build. This is what I want to do. Can you help me?
Right.
I think that is going to have to be, and I'm going to stay on that. That is my big trend breakdown. It's going to be teams.
Yeah, I'm always 100% behind. Like I have a whole book on it, right? 100% behind building community collaborations and partnerships. It is the short road to success. If you don't leave here with anything else, listen to that part of it. Building a strong community or building strong partnerships and collaborations is the short road to success. But it can't be a user situation.
Yes.
Okay? It has to be mutually beneficial. How am I helping you? And how are you helping me? And how are we going to succeed together? Where the partnerships fall apart is when the other person, and I've been in that situation, and I'm business savvy, right? And I'm pretty shrewd, but I've been in situations where I've been used, right? Because I feel the person comes to me with some sob story and I feel sorry for them and I help them out and then they leave me hanging, right? But I don't do that no more. What's a mutual beneficial case for us, right? Like, what do you want from me? Okay, well, this is what I want from you. Okay. And then we either sign some contract, depending on who it is or what it is. We sign some contracts, or if I see it's not going the way I want it to go, I'm like, I'm out. As the stage left, but you have to be very, very clear about your partnerships. You have to be clear about them.
Yes. And I even think, when we're talking about even the creator economy right now, everybody's talking about being a content creator and the creator economy or the UGC, right? That whole type of economy. What people are still failing to realize with that, I'm going to leave my 9 to 5 and I'm not going to have a boss. That is a partnership you're entering into.
Yeah.
So you still
have a boss. Yeah. You still have a boss. Like I used to like to say, "Oh, I didn't want to have a boss when." I think everybody says that, right?
Yeah.
When you leave your 9 to 5 and then you become an entrepreneur, full-time entrepreneur, you're like, "Oh, I got freedom." You still have a boss. Your boss is your clients.
Listen, if it's not your clients,
Yeah.
like there's so many levels. If it's
Mhm.
not your clients, it's gonna be a community.
Yeah.
If it's not your community, it's gonna be your audience.
Somebody's
But
holding you
somebody,
responsible for making that money, right? You have to be
listen,
held responsible by somebody for making the money. I
I
mean,
don't think people. I mean, and Tracy and you know behind the
mhm.
scenes we always use that terminology. When you become your own boss, you are building your own farm or your own plantation, just depending on how you're looking at it.
Mhm.
Depending on how you're looking at it.
Yep.
And as somebody who grew up in the South, and I know plenty of you guys know farmers.
Mhm.
Tracy, I know you're from a whole different country, so you're
Mhm.
seeing you have a dual lens in how
Mhm.
you're seeing things.
Mhm.
We know that it's some hard work
Mhm.
pulling the
Absolutely.
grounds, pulling the weeds, getting the stuff out. No matter how you look at whatever
Mhm.
farming you're doing, if you just have the equipment, if you
Mhm.
have to work with contractors on your farm, it is multiple pieces besides just sitting there digging that soil. And
Mhm.
again, I think when you said it perfectly, partnerships are going to be everything moving forward. It's going to
Definitely.
be everything. So if you can partner with somebody, like you said, on a technical end, or if this
Mhm.
person has this gift and you don't have this one,
Mhm.
it's going to be assessment. First of all, I feel like discernment.
Oh my goodness. That's the first
I
key,
know
right?
everybody was buying Audacity. I know. And we told everybody about Audacity.
Yep.
But when you're checking out, just click and add discernment to the cart.
Yep.
Just click and add discernment to the cart. Because again, I see everybody pushing this UGC creator and
Mhm.
being a UGC creator, not realizing it's the same thing. Like you said, you
Mhm.
do have a boss, you have somebody else, or if not, you have a partnership. They want
Mhm.
something from you, and
Mhm.
you're going to have to listen to their feedback and to
Yeah.
you satisfy them as well. Like it's going to be somebody you're serving someone.
Yes. You are always
You're
serving
serving
someone.
someone.
We're always serving somebody.
Listen,
Somebody
and
needs
I
to be
think,
paid.
and I do feel like that's what we're going to see moving forward in
Mhm.
2025. I think it's going to be community focus or your audience focus or whoever it is that you're really, really trying to talk to. I feel like the expert is going to come back. I feel like people are looking for experts because they have taken so many, so much
Mhm.
advice.
Mhm.
I think people who have cavities are tired of swishing their mouth with coconut water and coconut cream. They're like, hey, I just need to go to the dentist. I just can't find a dentist. So
Right.
just saying that to say, I think that it's going to be a huge trend. And I do feel
Mhm.
like partnerships, collaborations are going to be a huge thing again, where
Yeah.
people are really, really partnering and going live with people and actually dropping collections with people. You're seeing that a lot with a lot of celebrities that are rolling out stuff. They're
Mhm.
talking about their team a lot more. They're doing shows around their team or about their team, or they're doing like Kim Kardashian did, is Skims and Dolce and Gabbana. Skims could have released that by themselves.
Mhm.
Dolce and Gabbana could have released that by
Yes,
themselves.
definitely.
Why did they cross over and do it?
Because
Because
they're
Kim is
stronger
trying to
together.
be a luxury brand. Dolce and
Mhm.
Gabbana is trying to sit here and appeal to the trendy market who wants to be luxury. So
Right.
it's a win-win for everybody.
Mhm. Mhm. It is definitely. It is. They get to meet both markets, right? Skims
Right.
gets part of Dolce and Gabbana's market because it has Dolce and Gabbana on it, and Dolce and Gabbana gets to meet part of Skims market because it has Skims on it, right? And that's what partnerships are supposed to do. Just like if, and I can bring it back to nonprofits and sponsorship. So a lot of time nonprofits look for sponsorships when they're having events. It's the
Right.
same exact thing. When you're looking for sponsors, they're looking for ROI, return on investment, right? What are you going to give me for the money I'm going to give to you? Part of what they're looking for is audience. Businesses are always looking to be introduced to a new audience so that they can make money. Okay. And then they're looking for other things that you can give to them. Partnership is a give and take. I'm not going to give you my money and not get anything back in return for it. I
I need
need to
money
know,
back. Yeah.
right. I need to
Yeah.
know what my ROI is upfront. And I have to make sure that the ROI that I'm going to get back is what I want and what I need.
And that's what I was getting to. Is it what you want and is it what you need? And I
Mhm,
think people are missing that with the whole plot.
mhm,
What do you want and what do you need?
mhm,
And what do you currently have that you can lease or give away?
mhm, mhm.
And I think that is a huge part that people are missing. And I feel like you have to take inventory of that, especially moving into this new year.
Yep.
If you're a content creator or a personal brand or a nonprofit. Because like you said, your ROI could be a whole bunch of different stuff. It could be brand awareness. It could just be you give it brand awareness, recognition, global awareness. It could be getting in front of a new audience. It could just be the media attention they're going to get behind it and the recognition of just being there. It could be the money. You never know what somebody else wants until you have that conversation. And I think you talk about it a lot too. We're not all playing the same game.
No,
and
we're
we
not.
don't all have the same finish line, and we all don't want the same things.
No.
And everybody's brain can't go the same direction.
And just to segue into this, today's Giving Tuesday.
Yeah.
Okay, so for anybody watching, today's Giving Tuesday. Find a nonprofit organization that you can connect with, that connects with you on a fundamental level. I like to talk about heartstrings to purse strings. So something that pulls on your heartstrings, maybe something you've gone through, something that a family member has gone through, or something that you just see that plagues your community. Find a nonprofit in your community and support them today. Every dollar counts. If you can only give $5, $10, $20, if you got $100 to spare, that's even better. But today's Giving Tuesday. Take the time to give to a nonprofit near you. And what is your ROI? Because we just talked about ROI. It is the fact that the money that you are going to give to that nonprofit is going to create an impact in your community. And that impact is going to create a positive ripple effect throughout your community, making your community better and the people within your community better. So again, today's Giving Tuesday. Please find a nonprofit organization that you can connect with and give them a donation today. So that's my PSA.
That was the commercial.
Yes.
That was a nice segue into that too.
Yep.
I think it's important. I just love how you wrap the whole thing around. It impacts your community and it impacts who's in your community.
Yes.
And I think people, and that's why I said I think we're finally getting to that. Like, oh, somebody got killed down the street. Well, it's not my family, not realizing it could have been somebody in your house walk down the street and it could have been them to affect your family. So I think we're now really, really understanding what we do to each other it still affects you. Somebody in your family down the street, your cousin or somebody, it affects somebody. And I think we're getting to that. And I think we're also too realizing how important nonprofits are. I don't think we quite understand the impact that a lot of nonprofits have. And if they did stop doing what they were doing,
what would happen to our society? Yeah, because the government is not going to do all the work. That's one of the reasons nonprofits started. It started because the government could not keep up with the needs of the population. So they decided to create this entity called nonprofit, where regular people can subsidize the work in the community that they cannot do. They will give the money, but they couldn't hire enough people to actually get the work done and supervise them properly. So that's a place that nonprofits have within our community. It does the work that's needed.
People read it like that. That would have been a pitch right there. Like if people would talk about nonprofits, no, think about it that way and roll it out that way. And just say me personally, if I would have first heard that that's what a nonprofit was and rolled it out that way, I would automatically thinking about getting a grant. If you're supposed to be doing that, you get like your first thing wouldn't be, oh, I need to hurry up and get a grant.
Right.
It would be, how can I raise money? How can I do different stuff to push this nonprofit, not re-wait on the government, and they don't have the time or the energy to re-wait for them to give me money to hope they can help me do something that I said that I want to do.
Well, so that's one of the reasons I wrote the year-end fundraising book, is because I know that a lot of people have an allergic reaction. I don't know how else to put it, right? They have an allergic reaction to asking for money, because when they have to ask for money, they feel like they're begging, and nothing could be further from the truth. You're not begging when you're asking for money for your organization to help other people within your community. You're not asking for the money yourself. And that's one of the things I had to learn myself, because nobody wants to ask other people for a handout. But you're not asking for yourself. You're asking for the greater good of your community. So if you look at it that way, it has to be a mental shift. And this mental shift has to ripple throughout the entire organization, from the board members to the executive director, program director, fundraising person, the administrator. All of your volunteers need training around fundraising, because with all of the rollbacks, grants are just harder to get. Like I was talking to a client yesterday and she was like, yeah, we just got our audit done. And I was like, good for you. She was like, yeah, because I tried to write a few grants and then I got to the last page of the grant and then it was like, oh, can you upload your audit? And we didn't have one. And I just spent hours filling out this grant application. And that's because a lot of funders now want to make sure that nonprofits are fiscally responsible, that they're, sorry, that they're using the funds that they're getting appropriately, and they know how to handle money. So they want you to get a CPA certified audit. And if you don't have one, then you can't get grant monies. So, I mean, you got to do what you got to do. You get the show. Yeah. So, gone are the days where most people can be scared that they're going to give their money to a nonprofit and the founder of the nonprofit is going to run off and go to Europe with their money and have a great time. No, there are too many places that are trying to keep people fiscally responsible right now. So, yeah, that's not as big of an issue as it may have been in the past.
Got you.
Yeah. So, is there something else you want to talk about?
I think did we cover everybody?
I think we have one more thing to talk about, but I can't remember what it is because I did not write it down. But when it comes to the Skims thing, just leave the people alone. Let them wear what they want to wear, how they want to wear it, because they paid for it. Okay.
How do you know it's Skims?
Yeah. It could have been a knockoff. That's right.
You don't know. Like, it's heard this is something. But again, from Skims' point of view, if it was me, I would be reposting those girls. I would have them all on my Instagram.
Yep.
Because, you know what I mean? So the girls can buy it. But I think we did. So we went back to that. We talked about Skims. We talked about the list, the Black Shop on list. She was telling me that you're going to go get it from Target. We talked about the TikTok shop, how everybody's on the TikTok shop. We talked about legacy. Yeah, we talked about the Kardashians, their whole thing. I think we talked about everything.
Okay. All right. Thought we had something
else. We got into trends. Yeah, we got into trends. What was happening with trends? What we saw with trends. Just the time just flew.
I know. That's why I'm like, I think there was something else for us to talk about, but I cannot remember what it is. Yeah, that went by quickly.
I'm trying to sit here and think. No,
and then I gave my spiel about Giving Tuesday.
Right. Yeah. What you gave your spiel about Giving Tuesday, that
maybe nothing. Maybe we just thought we had something else to talk about.
No, and it was basically the TikTok shop. We were just talking about that. And all the people who were going live on TikTok shop. That was it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess that's a wrap. I guess that's a wrap.